The courtroom doors burst open, flashbulbs, sirens, and chaos. Jackie was shaking. Not with anger, but with the kind of heartbreak that breaks you in places you didn't know existed. And the worst part, the betrayal came from two people she once called family. It all started with a blurry wedding clip. 30 seconds of leaked footage that set social media on fire and destroyed 3 lives in the process. In the grainy video, Doug stood at the altar, but the woman beside him, it wasn't Jackie. It was Malaysia. Yes, Malaysia Pargo. The very woman who swore she'd never crossed that line. Fans didn't want to believe it at first. Some said it had to be fake, a deep fake, maybe a prank. But then the confirmation came. An insider, someone who was at the wedding, leaked the location, the vows, and the date, and just like that, the internet split in half. Was this revenge? Was Doug ever in love with Jackie? Or was this the ultimate storyline twist that only reality TV could deliver? Inside the courtroom, Jackie sat frozen. She had just submitted new evidence in her suit against Doug. And then the clip played. Her hands trembled, her knees buckled, and in front of everyone, she collapsed. The judge, the cameras, the gasps, nobody knew what to do. But one thing was clear, this wasn't just drama anymore. This was personal. And what happened next would leave even the courtroom in complete silence. Nobody saw it coming, not the fans, not the blogs, and definitely not Jackie. But while she sat prepping for her courtroom battle halfway across town, Doug and Malaysia were saying I do in a courthouse no one was supposed to know about. The date? A quiet Tuesday. The location? A Beverly Hills registry office. No guests, no press. Just 2 signatures and one betrayal that would shatter everything. It started with a blurry clip. Someone posted it to TikTok around 3:12 p.m. The caption? Is that Doug and Malaysia? The footage was grainy, like it was shot from across the street with shaky hands, but you could still make out the details. Doug in dark designer shades and a black turtleneck. Malaysia in a sleek white blazer dress, clutching a bouquet like she knew this moment would go viral one day. They exited the courthouse like ghosts, no limo, no paparazzi. Just a quick walk to a waiting car, a matte black G-Wagon, but it was what came next that made the internet explode. Social media detectives wasted no time. By midnight, the screenshots were side comma by comma side. Malaysia's caption from today's earlier, one chapter closes, another begins. Doug's privacy is peace, peace is everything, cryptic, maybe. But then someone noticed the tattoos. Doug's left wrist, visible under his rolled sleeve, had fresh black ink, a cursive M, and in the TikTok video, as Malaysia waved to the clerk, the same exact font on her finger. The fandom had cracked the code. They were married, secretly, quietly, behind everyone's backs, and Jackie, she found out. From a fan, a random DM slid into her inbox that morning. Girl, please tell me this ain't true. She clicked the link, watched the video. And when the screen froze on Malaysia's smile as she held Doug's hand, Jackie said nothing. She just stared. Someone close to her said she froze up. Like her brain couldn't catch up to her heart, she kept repeating one word over and over, no. No, no. By noon, hashtag Doug and Malaysia was trending. But so was hashtag poor Jackie. Twitter turned into a war zone. TikToks dissected every frame of the video. Fans accused Doug of betrayal, others called Malaysia a master manipulator, and Jackie? She didn't post, didn't comment, didn't even log on. Insiders say she turned her phone off and locked herself in her guest house. She didn't cry. One friend whispered, she collapsed, like her whole body gave out when she realized it was real. But this wasn't just any wedding, it was the final betrayal. The one move Doug knew would end any chance of peace, and he still did it. Why? Because what Jackie didn't know was that this secret wedding was only the beginning. The video opened to silence. Just the faint sound of wind through an open window and the quiet hum of an iPad. On the screen, blurry footage played of a beach wedding in Malibu, soft waves, white orchids. And there, front and center, Doug and Malaysia holding hands, saying I do. But the camera slowly pulled back and we saw Jackie sitting in her robe. Eyes frozen, tears welling but not falling yet. She watched in silence, her face unreadable. The only movement, her hand, trembling ever so slightly as she paused the video. This wasn't just some tabloid rumor, this wasn't some messy blog story. This was real. And it broke her. Just hours earlier, Jackie had denied everything. In a now deleted Instagram comment, she clapped back at a fan asking about Doug's alleged secret wedding. Y'all will believe anything, miss me with that fake energy. But the cracks were already showing. That night, Jackie went live, no makeup, hair wrapped, wine in hand. She didn't mention names. She didn't need to. Let me tell you something, she began. When you give your entire life to someone, raise their kids, sacrifice your shine, hold them down when nobody else would, and they still go behind your back, that ain't love. That's war. The comments exploded. Is she talking about Doug? Oh my god, Jackie's voice is shaking. Not Malaysia being the other woman. Jackie ended the live 6 minutes in, just as she began sobbing and whispering, "Y'all don't know what it's like to feel invisible in your own story." Behind the scenes, friends say Jackie already knew. A source close to the family revealed that Jackie's own daughter, Chantal, had warned her. "Mom, just talk to Dad," she allegedly told her 2 days before the wedding. "Something's going on. I don't want you to get blindsided," but Jackie brushed it off. She trusted Doug, always had. Even when Malaysia entered the picture. Even when she started seeing Doug at more and more charity events, always just running into each other. Flashbacks to red carpet clips from 5 years ago showed Jackie glaring at Malaysia during a reunion shoot, and in one viral confessional, Jackie once said, "I don't do fake friends. And I definitely don't do recycled friendships with my husband." But somehow, she thought things had changed. She thought she and Malaysia had moved on clearly. Only one of them did. In private, Jackie began spiraling. One friend says she didn't leave her house for 3 days. She watched old anniversary videos. She burned a love letter Doug once wrote her on their 10-year vow renewal. She stopped answering calls, except one. Malaysia. Yes, she did call, and Jackie didn't answer. She let it ring over and over, then blocked the number. The most haunting part, a single screenshot Jackie posted and deleted just 1 hour after the wedding video leaked. It was a black screen, just one text. Sent from Jackie to Doug. "Is this true?" No reply. Just, read to 13 p.m. The internet erupted. He read it and said nothing. Doug is cold for that. Damn, Jackie deserves better, period. It was the digital equivalent of a slap in the face, and for Jackie, it was confirmation. Confirmation that the life she built was already being replaced before it even crumbled. But the most shocking detail, sources say Jackie was invited to the wedding. Not as a guest, not even as a name on the list, but as a joke, allegedly. A bridesmaid texted Jackie a blurry photo of the wedding setup with the caption, "Too bad you won't be here to see it in person." Jackie never replied. She simply posted a quote on her Instagram story that night: "Betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the ones who swore they'd never lie." And then, silence. Total silence. But if you think this was the end of Jackie's story, you're wrong. Because what she did next left the internet gasping. She didn't stay broken. She showed up to court, unannounced, on the day of Doug and Malaysia's prenup hearing. And what happened inside was not what anyone expected. Stay with us, because in part 3, the courtroom goes silent as Jackie makes her most emotional move yet. Jackie didn't just walk into court, she stormed in like a woman with nothing left to lose. The emergency legal motion she filed the night before hit the internet like a grenade. A restraining order citing harassment, coercion, and deliberate manipulation, with a second motion demanding full control of the Malibu property she once shared with Doug. Fans flooded her Instagram with hearts and fire emojis, but the real fireworks were just beginning. Outside the Los Angeles Superior Courthouse, the energy was thick. A swarm of paparazzi pushed against barricades, cameras flashing like lightning in a storm. They weren't just there for the headlines, they were there to watch a family explode, and then they arrived. Malaysia, dressed head to toe in beige Valentino, clutched Doug's hand like it was the only thing keeping her from drowning. Her smile was tight. Doug, behind dark sunglasses, didn't say a word. Malaysia's publicist whispered frantically into a phone, while her assistant held a clipboard with a pre-written statement that no one would ever end up reading, because what happened inside, no one could have prepared for. Jackie pulled up just 5 minutes later, and this time, she wasn't alone. Her 19-year-old son, Marcus, stood beside her, towering and silent, his jaw clenched, his stare burning holes into the ground. The crowd erupted. "We love you, Jackie. Stay strong, Queen. Expose them all." Jackie didn't wave. She didn't blink. She walked straight into the courthouse, heels clicking like a countdown. Inside, her legal team, led by celebrity attorney Camille Worthington, had already taken their seats. Malaysia and Doug sat across the aisle, deliberately avoiding eye contact. But Jackie, she stared straight at them and did not blink. The first blow landed hard. Jackie's lawyer stood up, cleared her throat, and read aloud from a stack of documents that had never before seen daylight. Mr. Douglas W. Green is accused of knowingly transferring joint funds into a shell account based in the Cayman Islands, Camille said, her voice sharp as glass. Murmurs erupted. Furthermore, our client has suffered severe emotional distress as a result of being misled, isolated, and coerced during the final 6 months of their relationship. Doug flinched. Malaysia's publicist slid out of the room like a ghost. But what really shifted the energy in that courtroom was the recording. Camille held up a phone. "Your Honor, we have submitted into evidence a voice memo recorded on July 8, by an unnamed member of Ms. Malaysia Perry's staff. The judge nodded. And the sound played over the courtroom speakers. I don't even think she knows he's marrying me. She thinks they're just separated. It's pathetic. Doug said she'll be fine once we're in the house. He just wants her out before September. Double quotes gasps. Malaysia went pale. Jackie covered her mouth with both hands. Eyes wide in disbelief. Doug turned to Malaysia. She wouldn't look at him. Not once. Court officers had to pause the hearing. People were sobbing. Jackie's son whispered something to her, but all the microphones caught was her trembling voice saying, "He's a liar. I gave him everything." And as court resumed, the judge didn't hide her concern. "I'll need to see full financial records from the past 18 months. Both parties, no exceptions." Doug's lawyer tried to object, but it was too late. The court had heard enough, and what the judge ordered next would make headlines for weeks. Malaysia was subpoenaed as a witness. Under oath. Her face cracked, the first real emotion she'd shown in weeks. And when the judge adjourned, Jackie walked out with her head high, her son's arm around her shoulders. Doug didn't follow Malaysia. He just sat there staring at the empty bench across the aisle. But if Jackie thought this courtroom war was over, she had no idea what Malaysia had planned next. She collapsed before the clip even finished playing. No one saw it coming, not the judge, not her lawyers, not even the son sitting right beside her. But when Jackie heard Doug's voice admit to the one thing she prayed was never true, her body just gave out. It happened on day 3 of the hearing. By then, the court had already become a circus. Paparazzi outside, protesters holding "Justice for Jackie" signs, and TikTok detectives live streaming their commentary from the courthouse steps. Inside, the judge's patience was wearing thin, and then Doug's attorney made the move no one expected. He stood, adjusted his tie, and said the words that changed everything. "Your Honor, with my client's permission, we'd like to enter an audio file into the record, a personal voice memo." Time-stamped 6 months before Mr. Green filed for divorce. The room fell silent. Even Malaysia looked confused, but Jackie, she didn't blink, not at first. The audio crackled. Doug's voice was low, muffled, recorded on what sounded like a phone call. But the words? They hit like a grenade. "I'm still seeing her, man. I mean, I never really stopped. Jackie's just been complicated lately." Malaysia's been there in a way Jackie stopped being. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this. But yeah, I love her. I always have." The gallery gasped. Jackie froze, her lips parted. But no sound came out, her eyes, wide, glassy, fixed on something no one else could see. And then it happened. She stood, her hands trembled. She opened her mouth to speak, but her knees buckled. She hit the floor before anyone could catch her. Gasps, screams, chaos. "Call 911, someone yelled. Her son, Marcus, dropped beside her, shouting her name over and over. Court officers rushed in. And all the while, the judge kept yelling, "Turn that off. Turn it off," but the damage was already done. The courtroom camera, required to document civil proceedings, had captured every second, from the audio playing to Jackie's heart-wrenching fall. By the time she was wheeled out on a stretcher, unconscious, Doug was slumped in his chair, hands over his face, sobbing into his palms. Even Malaysia looked shaken. Within an hour, the footage was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook. 1/7-second clip, zoomed in, slowed down, overlaid with the words she gave him her soul, and he shattered it. Got to 0.8 million views in 10 minutes. People weren't just watching it, they were feeling it. "This is the realest moment in reality TV history," one viral comment read. "Forget scripted drama, this is heartbreak." Another user wrote, "Jackie's name trended globally within the hour. So did the hashtag collapse of a fighter back in the hospital." A rep confirmed Jackie had suffered a panic-induced vasovagal syncope, a sudden drop in blood pressure caused by overwhelming emotional distress, but fans didn't need a medical explanation. They knew what they saw: a woman destroyed in real time by the man she once built a life with. And while Jackie rested under sedation, a different kind of storm was brewing outside, because that leaked audio was just the beginning. Malaysia's assistant had been keeping way more than just voice memos. And the next one? He waited 72 hours. That's how long it took Doug to speak after Jackie's collapse. 3 full days of silence, 3 full days of fans demanding answers, 3 full days of grief fueled rage flooding the internet. And when he finally did speak, it was through a cold, carefully worded press release. "We ask for privacy during this time, as this is an incredibly difficult period for our families. We hope the public can respect that. No apology, no accountability, not even Jackie's name." The backlash was instant. He broke her in front of the world, and now he wants silence? One tweet read, racking up over 400,000 likes. Another went viral with a side comma by comma side. Doug's statement on one side, Jackie in a hospital bed on the other. with the caption, "PR silence for a woman you left in pieces?" Be serious, it didn't help that Malaysia broke her silence just one day later, and unlike Doug, she didn't hide behind a publicist. She sat down with Nauthis, wearing soft makeup, a cream blouse, and tears that didn't quite fall, just shimmered. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this," she whispered, voice cracking. "I never wanted to hurt Jackie. She was like a sister once." The interviewer asked if she and Doug had started seeing each other while he was still married. Malaysia hesitated. She blinked, she looked down, and then she said, "It's complicated." That one clip, just for seconds long, exploded across TikTok. "It's complicated" trended for 72 hours straight. Fans weren't having it. "She didn't mean to steal her man," one viewer snapped. "No girl, you planned this. Don't play victim now." But the real shock came from inside Jackie's family. Her son, Marcus, uploaded a 12-minute video to YouTube titled, "The Truth About Doug Green," from his own stepson. No music, no sponsors, just Marcus, raw and shaking. "Doug is a narcissist, period. He gaslight my mom for years. Y'all just never saw it because she protected him. She used to cry in the pantry, like full on sobbing, just to keep it from me. And then he dropped this bombshell. I once walked in on them, Malaysia and Doug, at the Malibu house while my mom was upstairs. He told me it was a business meeting. The comments were brutal. This isn't drama anymore. This is emotional warfare. That boy watched his mother get destroyed, and now y'all want peace. Malaysia and Doug should be blacklisted from everything." And that's when fans really went digging. Within hours, they resurfaced a 2018 interview Malaysia did on a now.com, a defunct podcast, where she said, "I'd never date a friend's man. That's not in me. I don't care how over it is. Respect comes first." Clips of it were edited with clown makeup filters, millions of views, but it didn't stop there. Old wounds reopened. Fans unearthed a season 7 reunion clip of Basketball Wives, where Malaysia and Jackie had a tense exchange on the couch. Jackie had said, "Loyalty means you don't flirt with someone else's man. Even if the doors are closing, you don't peek in." Malaysia had rolled her eyes. "I don't need your lectures on loyalty, Jackie. I know who I am now." That clip was everywhere, edited with slow zooms, background music replaced with eerie piano. One TikTok called it the prophecy that came true. The internet was divided into 3 sides: Team Jackie, Team Malaysia, and the rapidly shrinking Team Doug. But no matter where people stood, one quote from Jackie's rep silenced the noise, a note written by Jackie herself and shared to her Instagram story with no caption. "I lost a friend and a husband in one day. I don't know which betrayal hurt more, but I know I'll never forget either." Over 3.7 million people shared it, one of the most viral heartbreak quotes in influencer history. But just when the dust started to settle, a mysterious new Instagram account popped up. No profile picture, no bio, just one cryptic post: "You only know half of what Malaysia did." Swipe. The drama wasn't over. It was about to get darker. They were spotted in Bali, sipping champagne like nothing ever happened. Doug and Malaysia, hand in hand, smiling for paparazzi as if they hadn't just left a woman in a hospital bed halfway across the world. The images hit TMZ just after midnight. By morning, they were trending in every time zone. There they were, barefoot on the beach, Malaysia wearing a white sundress that looked eerily bridal. Doug wore a linen shirt, open halfway down his chest, gold chain glinting in the sun like he hadn't just begged the court to seal his financial records. Sources confirmed they were honeymooning before the ink on his divorce was even dry. The backlash was immediate, a literal villain origin story. One viral tweet read, "They deserve each other, soulless and sunburnt," another added. Fans began stitching clips of Jackie's courtroom collapse with the Bali footage, calling it the most tone-deaf love story of the decade. But while Doug and Malaysia posed for soft.com lit Instagram carousels, Jackie vanished. No posts, no comments, no interviews. Just silence for 3 whole weeks. Her name trended without her lifting a finger, and then, without warning, she returned. A single black and white Instagram reel, no music, no filter, just Jackie walking alone down an empty boardwalk at sunrise, coat blowing in the wind. The caption read, "Survived, not broken." The post reached 4.2 million likes in 12 hours. TikTok was flooded with tribute edits, clips of Jackie laughing from her reality show days, behind the scenes footage of her hugging her son, side.by. Sides with Beyonce's Lemonade visuals. She didn't lose, she just let go. This is what healing in real time looks like. She's not a victim, she's the main character. Suddenly, public sympathy didn't just belong to Jackie, it belonged to her narrative. And that narrative was about to go global. Netflix confirmed it quietly, buried in a press release about upcoming docuseries, Untitled Jackie Green Project. a 6-part exclusive documentary exploring betrayal, resilience, and the price of silence in the public eye, according to sources close to the production. Jackie is serving as executive producer. She's telling everything: the marriage, the lies, the recordings, the breakdown. She's not just reclaiming her voice, she's monetizing it. Meanwhile, Malaysia quietly turned off comments on all her platforms. Doug was dropped from 2 brand campaigns, and their honeymoon photo now holds the record for most reported image on Instagram in 2025. Because in the court of public opinion, there was no need for a judge. Jackie already won, and the next move was hers. He thought he walked away clean. Doug Green believed he'd humiliated Jackie, escaped the courtroom, and built his new life in Bali with Malaysia, all without consequence. But what he forgot was the fine print, and that oversight just cost him $2.50 million. It happened in the final ruling, a dry Tuesday afternoon when most of the world had stopped watching. But inside that courtroom, a silent landmine was about to go off. Jackie's lawyer handed the judge a dusty brown folder marked prenuptial addendum, confidential. Doug's team didn't flinch until the judge began to read aloud, as per Section 14, subclause C, in the event Mr. Green remarries within 12 months of legal separation, he shall pay the full infidelity offset sum of $2.5 million US to Ms. Jacqueline Green. Within 30 business days, the courtroom exploded. Gasps, murmurs, stifled laughter from Jackie's supporters. Doug turned white. Malaysia gripped her purse so tightly her knuckles turned blue. His lawyer leaned in, whispering frantically, but the judge had already banged the gavel. Mr. Green, your marriage to Ms. Perry, recorded as of 3 weeks ago in the state of Hawaii, is considered a binding legal union. The infidelity clause is now enforceable. Jackie sat motionless, not smug, not angry, just ready, as if she knew this day would come within hours. Headlines lit up the internet. Jackie Green wins $2.5 million in prenup clause. Court bombshell. Malaysia reportedly blindsided by secret clause. Is the wedding already falling apart? He cheated, lied, and paid. And that's when another twist hit the internet like wildfire. A leaked voice memo, allegedly recorded 1 month before the wedding. Doug's voice, frantic, aggressive, unfiltered. I don't care if it's real. I'm marrying her to piss Jackie off, that's it. Get the license done and make sure it's legal. She needs to see I'm not playing. The internet lost its mind. Malaysia turned off her comments. Again, Doug's team issued a weak denial, calling the clip edited and manipulated. But forensic audio specialists, TikTok's favorite new heroes, confirmed it. The voice was real. And the motive? Vengeance. He didn't marry for love, he married for revenge. And now, Jackie was the one holding the check. Fans flooded her page. She got paid to survive his betrayal. $2.5 million for emotional damages. Honestly, that's low. Sis turned heartbreak into generational wealth. But Jackie, she still hasn't said a word. Just a single post, a photo of her standing on a cliff, wind in her hair, back to the camera, with the caption, sometimes the best revenge is interest. And now the world is asking, what will Jackie do with her $2.5 million revenge fund? Launch a business? Buy the house back? Drop her Netflix stock and a fragrance line? Or maybe she's not done playing the long game. Because if this story's taught us anything, Jackie doesn't just rise, she returns. Stay tuned. The next chapter is gonna be even messier. She never expected the wedding to leak, not like this, not with those photos, not with him. When the images dropped online, the world stopped spinning for Jackie. There, in perfect lighting, stood her best friend Malaysia, wearing white, clutching a bouquet, wrapped in the arms of Jackie's ex-husband, Roman. The betrayal wasn't subtle, it was staged. It was smug, and it was cruel. Jackie didn't speak for 3 days. But when she finally did, she marched into that courtroom not as a woman scorned, but as a storm. The showdown was public, the energy nuclear. Malaysia tried to play innocent, but Jackie, she brought receipts, bank records, hotel invoices, voice memos, everything that proved Malaysia wasn't just a friend, she was a predator. And then came the collapse. Live on camera. Malaysia fainted as Jackie read the final text aloud. I only stayed close to her to get to you. Roman's own words. Gasps, screams, phones up, TikTok exploded. And while Malaysia was being rushed to the Jackie, she didn't cry. She didn't shake. She smiled, because this wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about rebirth. Jackie may have fallen, but now she's rising. And trust, she's not rising alone. What would you do if your best friend married your ex behind your back? Drop your take in the comments, because this story, it's not over. And Malaysia's secret past with Jackie's son, yeah, we'll uncover that next time. Stay locked. You don't want to miss what's coming.